From John Bella, what are your thoughts on the potential of a Besties versus Bellas match? The odds of a match like this ever happening are slim to none, but the idea has a lot of potential. Obviously, any match that has Trish and Lita in it is going to be legendary no matter who it's against. But for it to be against arguably the greatest tag team in Diva history, and two individually great divas, one that headlined the second biggest pay-per-view of the year against Stephanie McMahon, and the other who was the second longest reigning Divas champion of all time, this becomes one of the most high-profile Divas matches there has ever been. Add that to the fact that Nikki is one of the few divas that can hang with Trish on the mic. And I don't know why, but I think Lita and Brie would clash pretty well together in the ring. So all around, this has potential to be a perfect match. All it needs is a good reason to take place. And I think they have the perfect storyline to do that with right now, to where they can even have this match as soon as SummerSlam this year. If they're going to go all the way with building the Bellas up as these dominant divas that can't be taken down, it would be the perfect opportunity to have two legendary divas come in and try to take them down. And if the Bellas end up going over, then whichever diva is strong enough to finally take the Bellas down will have done what not even two Hall of Famers were able to do, which will then put that diva over in an even more significant way. And that's just the gist of the potential that this match has. Since Lita is currently working on Tough Enough, I think it's more than possible that she'd be able to work an angle like this. But even if Trish can't make it, they could still do a storyline like this and maybe have Lita team up with Paige. But either way, Besties versus Bellas is what's best for business. So I guess it doesn't matter when it happens, where it happens, or what the story is, because as long as it happens, it will be historical. From WWE Fan, who do you think is better, Paige or Charlotte? Charlotte is a better wrestler, Paige is a better personality. Now, that's not just because of the advantage that Charlotte has from being on NXT, but I think ever since Charlotte stopped trying to wrestle like Ric Flair and started wrestling her own style, she's gotten a lot better, and I think she's shown even more potential as a wrestler than Paige has. I feel that Charlotte has more natural ability to be able to pull off such a complex mix of both an athletic and a technical style, whereas with Paige, every time she tries to expand her moveset, either she's not able to pull it off properly, or it's just a really awkward attempt at trying to be unique. But if we're talking about overall in terms of personality and everything, then that's where Paige has the advantage, because Charlotte is on that Natalya level where people are going to respect her for being good in the ring, but they're not going to connect with her the way they connect with a diva like Paige. From XY Cat Meow, if the main roster divas switch places with the NXT ones, do you think they would be better than the ones on NXT? No doubt about it. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand, is that it's not that the NXT women are that much better, it's that they're maximized to their full potential. If you look back at some of the NXT matches from 2013 and a little bit last year when they were booked, just like every other Divas match, they performed at the same level as every other diva. That's because they are on the same level. That's the thing. It's not about talent, it's what WWE lets them do with that talent. I can guarantee you, once Eva Marie has her first takeover match, the whole clueless Eva Marie thing is gonna die. Just look at Charlotte. When she debuted last year, she was still green and lacked a lot of identity. Did you really think to yourself that she would be able to put on one of the best women's matches of all time within a year? If NXT could push someone into becoming one of the best women's wrestlers in the year, imagine what they could do with the divas on the main roster who are already good. Santana, what do you think about the idea of bringing down underused divas to NXT once all the big names move up to the main roster? I think that's a good idea. Yeah, you could argue that NXT is for developmental talent, but Just look at what they've done for guys like Tyson Kidd and Zack Ryder now. Then you look at what Emma has done for herself since coming back. You look at what Eva Marie is doing for herself right now. NXT isn't just a place for developmental, it's a place where underused talent can reach their full potential. So, once the 4 horsewomen move up, I think it would do the division a lot of good to bring down talent like Alicia Fox and Naomi. And not just for their own benefit, but one of the only problems that NXT has right now is that there's not enough depth in the division. So by adding a few main roster divas as regulars would help add more variety and credibility to the division. From Affinity Skyliners X Forever X, now that she's left TNA, should Santana Garrett join the WWE? I haven't had the chance to talk about this, but Santana Garrett is actually doing amazing in the indies right now. She's currently holding both the NWA and the Shine Championships. So pretty much, she's the hottest talent in the indies right now. So I don't even think she needs the WWE at this point. But if that were to happen, I think she would thrive on NXT. She definitely has the potential to be one of the top divas there once all the main divas move up. This next question was asked by quite a few people, and it's basically, why do people still think that the Bellas can't wrestle? It's not so much that they think that, it's that they want to believe that. Thinking requires logic and reason, and those are two things that those people don't have, which is why everything that they say is just basic, generic comments based off nothing but their own personal feelings. That's exactly why their arguments are so limited, to the point where you can predict everything they're going to say before they say it. You know the counter to each and every one of those things, and you know what their typical response to that point is going to be. I could go on about this for 50 minutes, but the point is, all it is blind hate. And that's not just the cop-out of, oh, you think anyone that doesn't like them is a hater. No, you'll notice that their wrestling ability has very little to do with why those people don't like them. They always have a personal reason, like they're annoying, they're ugly, they're boring, they're whores, they don't deserve their spots, they're killing wrestling. And that's what it is. It's a personal hatred that makes them despise anything and everything the Bellas do. That's why they stay stuck on those ideas, no matter how much it defies logic, because for them, their perception is their reality. And that's why it doesn't really matter what they think anymore, because at the end of the day, they're wrong. It's not even a matter of an opinion anymore, because they believe in a false idea that defies logic, to the point where even they came up with a coherent reason to justify why they believe that. And they're not mentally capable of refuting any proof against that. Guys, I'm not joking. Look up the definition of delusional. So that's the advantage that we have over them, is that we're smarter than they are. Because unlike them, our thoughts are based off what we actually see, which is why we're able to back our points up with examples, logic, and proof. Something that the haters will always struggle to do, because their reasons are based off feelings, not logic. From the Renzino77, why do people refuse to give Velvet Sky credit for her improvements, but have no problem giving it to others like Brooke and Taryn? That's the thing. Velvet, Brooke, and Taryn are all around the same level right now, so I can't think of any logical reason why they say that, but the real reason is because the IWC never resented Brooke and Taryn the way they grew to resent Velvet Sky. The reason they resent Velvet Sky is for the same reason they resent guys like Roman Reigns. They hated the fact that she was pushed over other people that they wanted in the spotlight, and they never got over that. And that's the thing the IWC hates the most, when someone that they don't like gets a huge push and becomes successful. That's the kind of thing that turns their dislike of a wrestler into a passionate hatred. From Joshua Bello, do you think that Cameron has improved in the ring, and why do people still say she can't wrestle? I remember you had left a comment comparing Cameron to Summer Rae at one point, and I'll say this. The one advantage I'll give Cameron over Summer Rae is that she seems to have her in-ring style mastered a lot better than Summer Rae does. In fact, I'd probably even say that Summer Rae should wrestle more like Cameron, because Cameron actually has her style that matches her character. She may not be flashy or complex, but she does just enough to be effective, and her personality helps cover up her weaknesses to where she actually looks strong in the ring. So yeah, Cameron has improved, and the reason a lot of people won't say that is either because they haven't seen any of her recent work, or because they're not going to be able to let go of Melina versus Alicia Fox. There's a lot of wrestlers that once they get that reputation, that's not going to go away no matter what they do. And that's unfortunate.